the foundation of any relationship: communication. Let's face it, folks, relationships can be tough. Whether it's with your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, or even just your neighbor, those connections can be a source of incredible joy and support. But they can also be a source of frustration, hurt, and conflict. You know what often lies at the heart of these struggles? Communication breakdowns. Communication is the lifeblood of any relationship. It's how we connect, understand each other, and navigate the inevitable ups and downs that life throws our way. When communication breaks down, relationships suffer. It's as simple as that. Think about it. How can you possibly build a strong, healthy relationship without effective communication? You can't. It's like trying to build a house without nails or cement. It's just not going to happen. So, if you want to improve your relationships, you got to start by taking a good hard look at how you communicate. Effective communication, the key to connection. It's the bridge that links us to one another, allowing us to share our thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Without it, misunderstandings and conflicts can arise, creating barriers that can be difficult to overcome. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Dr. Phil, I get it. Communication is important. But what does it really mean to communicate effectively? How do we ensure that our words are not just heard, but truly understood? But what does effective communication even look like? Good question. It's not just about the words we use, but also about the way we convey them. It's about the tone, the body language, and the intent behind our words. Effective communication is more than just talking. It's about creating a connection, a bond that allows for mutual understanding and respect. It's about being present in the moment and truly engaging with the other person. It's about truly understanding and being understood. This means actively listening, not just hearing the words, but also understanding the emotions and intentions behind them. It's about listening with the intent to grasp the other person's perspective, not just waiting for your turn to speak. This requires patience, empathy, and a genuine interest in the other person's point of view. It's about expressing your own thoughts and feelings clearly and respectfully, even when it's difficult. This means being honest and open, but also considerate of the other person's feelings. When you and your partner, friend, or family member can communicate effectively, you create a space of safety and trust. This space allows for vulnerability and openness, which are essential for deep and meaningful connections. You feel heard, understood, and validated. This validation is crucial for building self-esteem and confidence, and it reinforces the bond between you and the other person. And that, my friends, is the foundation for a strong and fulfilling relationship. It's the glue that holds us together, even in the face of challenges and adversity. Effective communication leads to greater relationship satisfaction. It fosters a sense of closeness and intimacy, making us feel more connected and supported. Couples who communicate well tend to be happier, have fewer conflicts, and are better equipped to handle challenges when they arise. They are able to navigate disagreements and find solutions that work for both parties. Remember, communication is a two-way street. It's not just about expressing your own thoughts and feelings, but also about being receptive to the other person's perspective. It's about both speaking and listening, giving and receiving. This balance is essential for maintaining harmony and understanding in any relationship. And when both parties are committed to communicating effectively, the rewards are immeasurable. You build a foundation of trust, respect, and mutual support that can withstand the test of time. So, take the time to communicate effectively and watch your relationships flourish. Roadblocks to understanding common communication barriers. Okay, so we know communication is crucial and we have a better grasp of what effective communication looks like. It's the foundation of our relationships, both personal and professional. When we communicate well, we build trust, understanding, and connection. But achieving this isn't always straightforward. But what gets in the way? Why do we often struggle to communicate effectively, even when we desperately want to? It's a question that has puzzled many of us. Despite our best intentions, misunderstandings and conflicts arise, leaving us feeling frustrated and disconnected. Well, there are a number of common barriers that can hinder effective communication. These barriers can be subtle or glaringly obvious, but they all have the potential to disrupt the flow of understanding between people. These barriers can be internal, like our own assumptions and biases, or external, like distractions or a lack of privacy. Internal barriers often stem from our own mental and emotional states, while external barriers are influenced by our environment and circumstances. One of the biggest barriers is our own baggage. This includes our past experiences, emotional wounds, and insecurities. These elements can cloud our judgment and influence how we interpret and respond to others. We all carry around past experiences, hurts, and insecurities that can cloud our judgment and affect how we communicate. These emotional residues can trigger defensive reactions or cause us to misinterpret the intentions of others. For example, if you've been hurt in past relationships, you might be quick to jump to conclusions or put up walls, making it difficult to truly connect with your current partner. This defensive stance can prevent open and honest communication, leading to further misunderstandings. Another common barrier is simply not being present. In our fast-paced, technology-driven world, it's easy to become distracted and disengaged during conversations. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in our phones, our to-do lists, and the constant stream of information coming at us. This constant distraction can prevent us from fully engaging with the people around us. But when you're not fully present in a conversation, you miss crucial cues, both verbal and nonverbal, and the other person can sense that you're not truly listening. This lack of presence can lead to feelings of neglect and frustration, further straining the relationship. To overcome these barriers, it's important to be aware of them and actively work to address them. This means being mindful of our own emotional baggage, making a conscious effort to be present, and creating an environment conducive to open and honest communication. By acknowledging and addressing these barriers, we can improve our communication skills and build stronger, more meaningful connections with the people in our lives. It's a continuous process of self-awareness and intentional effort, but the rewards are well worth it. Remember, effective communication is not just about talking, but also about listening and understanding. By being present, empathetic, and open, we can navigate the common barriers to communication and foster deeper, more fulfilling relationships. Toxic talk, recognizing and breaking negative patterns. Sometimes it's not just about overcoming communication barriers. It's about recognizing and breaking free from toxic communication patterns. These patterns can be subtle and insidious, often creeping into our interactions without us even realizing it. These patterns can be incredibly damaging to relationships, eroding trust, intimacy, and respect over time. When left unchecked, they can create a toxic environment that stifles growth and happiness. One of the most common toxic communication patterns is criticism. This isn't just about pointing out flaws, it's about how we do it and the intention behind it. Now, there's a difference between constructive criticism, which is offered with love and a desire to help someone grow, and destructive criticism, which is aimed at putting the other person down or making them feel bad. Constructive criticism focuses on specific behaviors and offers solutions, while destructive criticism attacks the person's character. Another destructive pattern is defensiveness. This often arises when we feel attacked or unfairly judged. When we feel attacked or criticized, it's natural to want to defend ourselves. However, defensiveness can quickly turn into a barrier that prevents open and honest communication. But when defensiveness becomes a habit, it prevents us from truly hearing what the other person is saying and taking responsibility for our own actions. It creates a cycle where neither party feels heard or understood. Stonewalling is another big one. This is when one person shuts down completely during a conflict, refusing to engage or communicate. It's a form of emotional withdrawal that can be incredibly damaging. This is when one person shuts down completely during a conflict, refusing to engage or communicate. It's a way of avoiding the issue, but it's incredibly hurtful to the other person and only serves to escalate the conflict. Stonewalling can make the other person feel abandoned and rejected. It's a way of avoiding the issue, but it's incredibly hurtful to the other person and only serves to escalate the conflict. When one partner stonewalls, it can lead to feelings of isolation and frustration for the other. These are just a few examples of negative communication patterns. There are many others, such as contempt, which involves mocking or belittling the other person, and passive aggressiveness, where indirect resistance and avoidance are used instead of direct communication. If you recognize any of these patterns in your own relationships, it's important to address them head-on. The first step is awareness. Once you can identify these patterns, you can start to change them. This might involve seeking help from a therapist or counselor who can provide tools and strategies for healthier communication. Therapy can be incredibly beneficial in breaking these patterns. A therapist can help you understand the root causes of these behaviors and work with you to develop new, healthier ways of interacting. Practicing active listening is another crucial step. This means fully concentrating on what the other person is saying, without planning your response while they're speaking. It involves acknowledging their feelings and showing empathy. Open and honest communication is key. This means expressing your feelings and needs clearly and respectfully, without resorting to blame or criticism. It's about creating a safe space where both parties feel heard and valued. Breaking negative patterns takes time and effort, but it's worth it. By fostering healthier communication, you can build stronger, more fulfilling relationships. Remember, it's never too late to make a change. So, take the first step today. Recognize the patterns, seek help if needed, and commit to making positive changes. Your relationships will thank you for it. From all of us at Meaningful Pursuits, thank you for watching. For more content like this, please like, share, and subscribe to get notified when we drop new content.